Before Columbus, Magellan, and Lewis and Clark, there was a man whose story deserves a blockbuster movie. Meet Mustafa Azemmouri, also known as Estevanico, the Moroccan explorer who survived shipwrecks, deserts, and hostile encounters to become one of the first Africans to set foot in the Americas. His journey is as wild as it gets. From the bustling streets of Morocco to the uncharted lands of the New World, Mustafa's story is one of survival, resilience, and adventure. Subscribe and buckle up, young historians, because we're diving into one of history's most underrated explorers. Our story begins in 1500 in the Moroccan city of Azemmour, a vibrant port town on the Atlantic coast. Mustafa was born into a world of trade, culture, and conflict, as Azemmour was a melting pot of African, Arab, and Portuguese influences. But Mustafa's life took a dark turn when, at a young age, he was captured and sold into slavery. He was eventually purchased by a Spanish nobleman, Andrés Dorantes de Carranza, and shipped off to the New World. Talk about a rough start, right? Little did anyone know, this enslaved man would go on to outshine most of the so-called explorers of his time. In 1527, Mustafa joined the ill-fated Narvaez expedition, a Spanish mission to conquer and colonize Florida. Picture this: 600 men, 5 ships, and big dreams of gold and glory. What would go wrong? Spoiler alert: everything. The expedition quickly turned into a disaster. They were shipwrecked, lost in the wilderness, and attacked by indigenous tribes. Of the original 600, only 4 men survived, including Mustafa. Talk about a survival story. Mustafa's skills as a linguist, healer, and negotiator became critical. He learned indigenous languages and built relationships with local tribes, earning him the nickname Estevanico. The guy went from being a servant to the expedition's MVP. Over the next 8 years, Mustafa and the other survivors, led by Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca, traveled thousands of miles across the Americas. They trekked through Florida, Texas, and Mexico, encountering dozens of indigenous tribes along the way. Mustafa stood out not just because he was African, but because of his charisma and adaptability. Indigenous tribes often mistook him for a shaman or a healer. He wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Mustafa proved that sometimes the best explorers aren't the ones in charge, but the ones who adapt, learn, and connect with others. By 1536, Mustafa had reached Mexico City, where he became a legend in the Spanish colonies. But his journey wasn't over yet. In 1539, he joined another expedition led by Marcos de Niza to search for the mythical 7 cities of gold. These cities were supposed to be overflowing with riches, but spoiler alert, they didn't exist. Still, Mustafa was sent ahead as a scout, and his reputation as a skilled negotiator and traveler made him the perfect choice. Unfortunately, this is where his story takes a tragic turn. Somewhere in what is now New Mexico, Mustafa's expedition encountered resistance from the Zuni people. Accounts are unclear, but Mustafa was killed in the conflict, ending his incredible journey. Mustafa Azemmouri may have died far from home, but his legacy lives on. He was one of the first Africans to explore the Americas and left a lasting impact on the people he encountered. More importantly, his story challenges the traditional narratives of exploration. He wasn't a conqueror or a colonizer. He was a survivor, a bridge between cultures, and a symbol of resilience. Today, Mustafa is celebrated as a pioneer whose contributions to history were almost erased. But thanks to historians and storytellers, his incredible journey is finally getting the recognition it deserves. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. Let us know in the comments. Who is your favorite underrated historical figure? See you next time.